If you like computer modding, go subscribe to BitTech's YouTube channel. They do kind of similar stuff as what I do, except the difference is they are professionals and I am not. Seriously though, that channel is going to get big fast. They're doing some really amazing stuff over there, so go check it out. The link is in the description. Hey, I'm Ditech, and this is a tutorial on how to modify an all-in-one liquid cooler for your computer. There's a lot of different all-in-one coolers out there, and they're all built a little bit differently, so I can't really show you exactly how to mod all of them, but if the one you have has barb fittings like this Cooler Master one does, then you will be able to replace the tubes with something clear. And I will show you how to do that because that's kind of something that I can show you universally. It doesn't necessarily have to be this exact cooler. You can do it on any cooler that has barb fittings. Now, I think the process kind of explains itself. If you just watch the video, you can see exactly what I do and just repeat it. But there is a few things that I can add for clarification, such as the coolant that you put back into your cooler, you want it to be distilled water, and you also want to add some kind of anti-corrosive additive to it. A lot of all-in-one coolers use mixed metals, which is oftentimes a copper cold plate, which is the thing that goes right directly on top of your CPU, and then aluminum heat sinks inside the radiator itself. And that creates something called galvanic corrosion, which is something that you want to try to avoid. It actually kind of just means your water is just going to get gunked up because those two metals don't really mix well together. If you use the correct stuff, you absolutely can slow it down to the point where it's kind of doesn't even matter anymore. Like your pump is going to fail before it gets to the point where it stops cooling your system because of that. And on top of that, you probably want to add some kind of dye to make your water actually a different color so you can see it through your clear tubes. It just looks cool that way. And there are plenty of dyes that you can get. I use Mayhems in this video to add to my distilled water, and you can absolutely use Mayhems if you want. There's a lot of different colors that you can buy from them, or really just shop around and you'll definitely find something that you're looking for. Just make sure that it's specifically designed for water cooling your computer, because you don't want to use like food coloring or something like that. That's not a good idea. You can check the description for all the tools and the coolers that you see me use in this video, as well as a couple of links to some additives that you can add to your water that would help with galvanic corrosion and, you know, the dyes and everything like that. And like I said, that's not an exhaustive list. There's plenty more that you could use that would work just as well or better, but those are just a few suggestions to kind of get you going in the right direction.
Could freeze my conscience. Your body seems so harmless. Started in a hotel lobby. Just to get too sloppy. Things I showed you, my can't show me. After daylight.
So in order to add the coolant back into your loop, once you've added your clear tubes, you basically just need to recreate that loop without the radiator attached, and then kind of attach the radiator while underwater just so that there's no air that gets in the way. So you kind of just need a bucket full of your coolant, and then you would just manually fill up the pump part, and that would just be putting water into the two tubes that you have just until they're full. And then kind of put your fingers over the tops of those tubes once they're absolutely 100% full so that no water falls out, and then just kind of put them under the water in the bucket. And that will ensure that there's no air that could possibly get into your pump. And once that's done, you just turn on your pump so that the water starts pumping through the tubes while the two ends are underwater. That is a complete loop there. There's no air involved in that process, which is exactly what we're going for. And then all you do is lift up the tube that is the output. So you keep the tube that is intaking water in underwater in the bucket, and then you take out the tube out of the water that the water is coming out of. And that's the tube you will connect your radiator to. And that won't really matter if it's out of the water because water is getting pushed out of it. So no air is going to, go backwards inside of it. So you would just connect one of the radiator barbs to that output tube, and that will push water throughout the radiator and out the other side of the radiator. And then in order to connect your intake tube to the radiator as well, you would want to do that underwater so that there's no air involved in the process. So just submerge the radiator and then plug it in. And that is really the only way to completely refill your all-in-one cooler without having any air trapped inside. Or there's always going to be a little bit of air trapped inside, but if there's a little bit, it doesn't really matter. You just want to keep as much out as you possibly can. Now, on the cooler that I'm showing here, I use zip ties to keep the tubes connected to everything, and that's totally okay to do as long as the tube that you're using is a relatively tight fit around the barbs that you have on your cooler and your radiator. If they're not a tight fit, I would, for one thing, either get smaller tubes so that it is a tight fit, or if you can't do that, I would make the barbs larger, and you can do this in a few different ways, one being like plumber's tape you can wrap around it, but if you need something more than that, I use this epoxy clay to make the barbs bigger. And this clay, it will be linked in the description for one thing, but you mix it together and it hardens after a few hours, and once it is hard, it's waterproof and it's kind of like a plastic almost. So it's really strong, and then at that point I would use something more substantial than zip ties, like for example hose clamps like you can get at a hardware store. And you can see later on in the video I did use hose clamps on one of the coolers that I modded and it worked perfectly. But like I said, that's not totally necessary if the tube that you're using is a good fit for the barb that is on your pump. So if it is a good fit, then the zip ties are all you need, which is good because they're super cheap. Now, of course, there are other ways to mod your cooler, like painting the outside of the pump or whatever, but I can't really show that because every pump is different. I'm just going to show like one little example of that, but you have to take apart your own pump just to see what is possible to do with it, because like I said, they all come apart different, they're all built differently. I can't really show a one-size-fits-all kind of solution for that. And if you're wondering how to start your water pump without actually having it installed in your computer, you would just start it exactly the same way as if it was installed in your computer. So if you have a power supply, you would have to hook it up to that and then turn on the power supply, and that will make it start. So however it is that the pump turns on while it's installed in a computer is the same way you're going to want to turn it on while it's outside of the computer. Again, every pump is kind of different in what powers it, so I can't really show you that. But there's not really any like science to it. It's just start it the way that you were going to start it anyway. Hopefully the cooler that you got comes with kind of long cables just to make your life a little bit easier. So hopefully that was relatively useful. You don't need to be too worried about taking apart your AIO cooler because, as you could see, it's pretty easy to put them back together. Like I said before, check the description for all of the tools and materials and a little description of all of the steps that I took in this video, as well as all my social media accounts like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Discord and Patreon and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one involving PC case mods and related material, and become a channel member if you want a couple extra perks. I don't think I have any channel members yet, so you would be one of the first. You can click on the little join button underneath the video to see all of the perks that I've come up with so far. And yeah, so as always, I will see you in the next one.